Did you know? In 2022, Cristiano Ronaldo earned more from Instagram posts, about $85 million, than his entire Manchester United salary. Yep, a few swipes on a phone outpaid a world-class football contract. Football isn't just a sport anymore, it's a multi-billion-dollar business empire built around superstar brands and boots. Football is the most watched sport on Earth, with more than 3.5 billion fans, nearly half the planet. Broadcast rights sell for tens of billions, clubs operate like multinational corporations, and social media has turned athletes into global influencers overnight. For entrepreneurs, creators, or anyone curious about big money strategy, understanding how players turn talent into fortune reveals blueprints any brand can learn from. It's not just about goals on the pitch, it's about building wealth that lasts long after the final whistle. In this breakdown, we'll uncover the massive salaries and bonuses clubs pay their stars, how sponsorship deals with Nike, Adidas, and Pepsi can dwarf match earnings, the clever side businesses and personal brands, from fashion lines to whiskey, that turn players into moguls, and how social media makes footballers some of the highest paid influencers on the planet. Before we kick off, hit subscribe to Empire by Vision. We break down the strategies behind the world's biggest empires, brands, and industries. Once upon a time, footballers were local heroes. You'd cheer them on Saturday, then maybe see them working a normal job after retirement. But today's stars? They're walking, talking corporations. Let's rewind. In Pelé era, 1950 to 70. Salaries were decent but nowhere near today's astronomical figures. Pelé himself was among the first to sign endorsement deals, but even then, the business side was a fraction of what it is now. Move forward to the 1980s and 90s. Diego Maradona, Zinedine Zidane, and David Beckham began reshaping the narrative. Beckham, in particular, transcended football. His partnership with Adidas and his image as a fashion icon showed clubs and brands that a player's value went beyond goals. Fast forward again, social media has amplified this to an unprecedented scale. Cristiano Ronaldo, Lionel Messi, Neymar, these names are as recognizable as Coca-Cola or Apple. They're not just athletes, they're platforms with hundreds of millions of followers. Football's universal appeal is what makes these empires possible. Unlike sports confined to certain countries, football is played and watched everywhere from small villages in Africa to mega stadiums in Europe. The FIFA World Cup consistently attracts more viewers than the Olympics. This global reach means brands see footballers as the perfect ambassadors to penetrate multiple markets simultaneously. A Messi Adidas ad doesn't just run in Spain, it resonates in Argentina, China, the US, and beyond. Modern clubs like Manchester United, Real Madrid, and PSG aren't just sports teams. They're billion-dollar companies. They sign players not just for performance, but for brand equity, jersey sales, sponsorship deals, and global fan engagement. When PSG signed Messi, within 24 hours they sold over $100 million in shirts. That's not just talent acquisition, that's a corporate investment with instant ROI. Players understand this power dynamic. That's why they and their agents negotiate not just for salary but for image rights, bonus structures, and sometimes even shares in club revenue streams. Consider Ronaldo's CR7 brand. It's a lifestyle identity. Messi has the Messi store, Beckham has fragrances, clothing collaborations, and of course Inter Miami CF, his own Major League Soccer club. These ventures prove that footballers now compete with fashion houses and beverage giants for consumer attention. This evolution is critical. It means footballers can outlast their careers, building wealth long after they hang up their boots. This isn't just trivia about famous athletes. It's a case study in personal branding, diversification, and strategic partnerships. If a footballer can leverage a personal story and a social following to build an empire, so can a startup founder, content creator, or small business owner. The principles, visibility, trust, and diversification are universal. So, the idea is simple but powerful. Footballers aren't just playing a game, they're building brands. And those brands operate on the same principles as Fortune 500 companies. Next, we'll dive into the actions, the specific revenue streams and strategies that turn raw talent into real money. Now that we understand the big idea, that footballers are more than athletes, they're global brands. Let's break it down into the actual money-making playbook. These are the actions that turn a talented striker into a billionaire business mogul. First things first, the foundation. Salaries. When Lionel Messi signed with PSG in 2021, his reported salary package was over $40 million per year. That's just from playing. Ronaldo's move to Al Nassr in Saudi Arabia? That deal reportedly nets him $200 million annually when bonuses and commercial agreements are included. That's not a typo, $200 million a year. But here's the kicker, for the world's top footballers. Salary is often just the beginning, not the end. Elite players negotiate base salaries that reflect their talent and marketability. Clubs are willing to pay astronomical wages not just because of performance on the pitch, but because of the commercial ripple effects, shirt sales, ticket sales, global fan engagement. For example, Neymar's transfer to PSG wasn't just about goals, it instantly boosted PSG's global profile. His transfer fee of €222 million is still the most expensive ever. The club made much of that back in merchandise and media rights. Kylian Mbappe's record-breaking contract at PSG wasn't just to keep him scoring, it was to keep PSG relevant on the world stage. On top of salaries, bonuses stack up quickly. Goal bonuses, appearance bonuses, loyalty bonuses for staying at a club, and sometimes even weird perks, like luxury cars or private jet allowances. When Messi was at Barcelona, his contract reportedly included over €100 million annually in guaranteed wages and bonuses. That's nearly $250 million over just 2 years. The structure matters. Clubs use bonuses to keep players motivated and loyal, while players and agents use them to maximize short-term and long-term earnings. Here's the important part. Even though these numbers are jaw-dropping, for top players like Ronaldo and Messi, salaries are sometimes only 30 to 40% of their total earnings. The real game is played off the pitch. If salaries are the foundation, sponsorships are the skyscraper. This is where the money multiplies. Take Cristiano Ronaldo. His lifetime deal with Nike is worth over $1 billion. He's only the third athlete in history to get such a deal, joining LeBron James and Michael Jordan. Every time Ronaldo laces up his boots, posts on Instagram, or even walks onto a pitch, the Nike swoosh rides along. But it doesn't stop there. He's worked with brands like Herbalife, Clear Shampoo, Tag Heuer, and more. Forbes reported that Ronaldo earns more than $50 million a year just from endorsements. Messi has been tied to Adidas since 2006. His deal is also reportedly a lifetime agreement, rumored to bring him tens of millions annually. Adidas has built entire global campaigns around Messi's quiet, humble persona, perfectly opposite Ronaldo's flash. And that's what makes endorsements interesting. Brands don't just pick talent, they pick identities. Ronaldo's power and confidence align with Nike's energy. Messi's consistency and humility align with Adidas's storytelling. So, step 1 is the salary, the guaranteed paycheck. Step 2 is sponsorships, the massive multiplier effect that makes footballers richer than most CEOs. But here's the twist, the most successful stars don't stop there. They turn their fame into brands of their own. And that's exactly what we'll explore next. Here's where football turns into empire building, the personal brand. A footballer's name becomes their logo, their face, their trademark. And no one's done this better than Cristiano Ronaldo, Lionel Messi, and David Beckham. Cristiano Ronaldo turned CR7 into a lifestyle empire, from underwear and fragrances to hotels, gyms, and even tech startups. It's not just merch, it's identity. Fans wear CR7 because they want a piece of Ronaldo's discipline and style. Lionel Messi, the quiet rival, took a more understated route. He launched a Messi store, invested in sportswear, and partnered in eco-friendly fashion lines. Messi's empire mirrors his play, calm, consistent, and deeply strategic. Then there's David Beckham. The original blueprint. Long before influencer culture, Beckham was building partnerships that made him a global icon. After retiring, he co-founded Inter Miami CF, turning his fame into ownership, the ultimate business power move. And today, Beckham still earns tens of millions a year, proving the game doesn't end when you stop playing. Want deeper breakdowns like this? Join our newsletter. Free insights, case studies, and business strategy straight to your inbox. Links in the description. So what's the result of all these smart moves? Footballers like Cristiano Ronaldo, Lionel Messi, and David Beckham have proven that the real game isn't just on the pitch, it's in the business world. Ronaldo used his fame to create a self-sustaining empire, CR7 hotels, gyms, fragrances, and a social media following so massive that brands line up to be part of his orbit. Messi, ever the quiet strategist, built wealth through consistency. From long-term deals with Adidas to sustainable business ventures, he's created a legacy that matches his talent, humble, global, and deeply respected. And Beckham, the original football businessman, turned charm into ownership, lifestyle, and legacy. Inter Miami isn't just a team, it's a statement of how influence becomes infrastructure. The result? Each of them built something that outlives their playing career. That's the blueprint of modern success: turn visibility into value, and influence into equity. So next time you watch a match, remember, it's not just 90 minutes of football. It's a billion-dollar ecosystem of strategy, branding, and entrepreneurship. If you enjoyed this breakdown, subscribe to our YouTube channel and newsletter, where we explore how athletes, brands, and visionaries build empires from ambition. Thanks for watching.